So welcome to our third annual Geisinger Commonwealth Day. And thank you all so much for being with us as we honor our past and embrace our future. I'd like to welcome each of you as a distinguished guest. I also would like to call out with appreciation the other EVPs at Geisinger who are here. I see Dr. Hartle and Janet Tomkavage, Dr. Cassell. So nice to have each of you. If I missed someone, I apologize. Also, so nice to have one of our founders here, Bob Naismith. Thank you, Bob, for being here. So nice to have our senior leadership team, many of our community members, donors, students, staff, and faculty, and alumni here in support. It's really a joyous occasion. I am especially glad to see here our first-year students. And yes, I know you were strongly encouraged to come. But first-year students especially, this is part of being welcomed into our Geisinger family, is to have you hear these stories and celebrate with us and know what we're all about here at Geisinger College of Health Sciences. These stories will be shared by leaders of our institutions, as well as an alum, a current student, and a community member who is also a generous donor supporting our work. And when I think about what we're trying to do at Geisinger College of Health Sciences, I think of community. Not just our college community, but the people and neighborhoods that we serve beyond our campuses. We are here because almost 20 years ago, in fact, Dr. Naismith tells me almost 20 years ago to the day, a group of concerned citizens started meeting at breakfast, worried about the health profession workforce in our region. They decided to do something about that. They founded this school, and we already have more than 1,000 new physicians educated here. They each launched their medical education in Scranton, and that's amazing. With branch campus partnerships at the Guthrie Clinic, Dr. Cager, I know you're here. Thank you for being here. Excellent. And also at AtlantiCare, our teaching spans a huge footprint and touches thousands of lives. And like this medical school's special founding story, Geisinger itself was founded by a concerned neighbor. Abigail Cornelison, who later became Abigail Geisinger, was born in 1827. Almost 200 years ago. She did not have an easy life. Orphaned at age 15, her first husband was then killed in the Civil War. She then married George Geisinger, a businessman in Danville, Pennsylvania, and he died in 1883, leaving Abigail with wealth and a car. Those were unusual resources in Danville, Pennsylvania in the late 1800s. And she utilized those resources to serve her community, effectively becoming an ambulance driver, transporting ill community members to health care. But rather than stop there, just like we encourage each of our learners to do, she looked upstream to see how she could better help her community. Not just one person at a time, but instead affect the health of populations. She recruited a physician, Dr. Harold Foss, and she built a hospital right there in Danville. Her charge was simple: make it the best. At 86 years of age in 1913, the cornerstone of the hospital that is now Geisinger Medical Center was placed. And now Geisinger has almost 25,000 employees, many hospitals and clinics, a health plan, and our College of Health Sciences. that was started by other community members who wanted to look upstream and make a difference. These two founding stories, community members stepping in to use their concern for others, their wisdom, and their resources to improve the lives of others and build things better for the future, those stories still inspire what we do today at Geisinger College of Health Sciences. Our academic work in science is straightforward. It's unambiguous, yet incredibly ambitious, and ready to solve real problems that matter to us right here, right now. But we want to solve them in innovative ways that make a difference for generations. For example, we know access to care is critical, and we know we must expand the primary care network. Our Abigail Geisinger Scholars Program, seating up to 45 future psychiatrists and primary care docs in each of our class of MD students, is just the kind of bold, direct, and practical solution that our founders sought to make a difference in communities. The expansion of residencies and fellowships at Geisinger Medical Center, the Northeast Campus, and Lewistown are also the result of careful consideration of the needs in our communities. The expansion and growth of nursing education in Lewistown is a similar example of trying to use our resources to make a difference that inspires a local workforce, gives an outlet for young people to use their talents, and then provides sustaining care for our communities in the western part of our Geisinger footprint. Our research is focused on how to solve unique needs in our own regions. Moreover, like our pragmatic founders, the research that we do is focused on answers that doctors and others can use right now to improve patient care. You're going to hear about all that work in the rest of today's program, and I find it really exciting. I hope you will too. But first, in terms of making our place the best, we at Geisinger College of Health Sciences depend on our outstanding faculty. Please help me welcome Dr. Nicole Wall, Vice Dean for Faculty and Professional Development, to honor this year's faculty promotions.
It's my distinct honor and pleasure to recognize the remarkable achievements and advancements of our faculty here at the Geisinger College of Health Sciences. As we recognize their professional milestones, we also acknowledge the dedication, the passion, the pursuit of excellence that each member of our college embodies. Our faculty are the backbone of our academic mission, and it is through their drive that we are truly able to thrive. I'd like to take a couple minutes to acknowledge those faculty by name that have been promoted this year, and so please join me in congratulating them as I recognize them by name. And if any of our promoted faculty are in the audience today, please stand up so that we can celebrate and acknowledge you in particular. Dr. Jennifer Joyce, Professor Emeritus, Family Medicine. She's here. Dr. Verlyn Warrington, Professor, Family Medicine. Dr. Kenny Schwartz, Associate Professor, Neurology. Dr. Eric Melanchuk, Associate Professor, Emergency Medicine and Critical Care Medicine. Dr. Karen Korzik, Professor, Critical Care Medicine. Dr. Scott Myers, Professor, Pediatrics. Dr. Ir-Wee Hu, Associate Professor, Biostatistics. Dr. Wazik Mirza, Professor, Medicine. Dr. Brittany Marshall, Associate Professor, Obstetrics and Gynecology. Dr. Louis Christopher Grandizio, Professor, Orthopedic Surgery. Dr. Brian Piper, Associate Professor, Neuroscience. Dr. Ashley Szymanski, Associate Professor, Pediatrics. Dr. Joel Winnick, Associate Professor, Psychiatry. Dr. Cora Taylor, Associate Professor, Neuroscience and Psychiatry. Dr. Joseph Choi, Professor, Orthopedic Surgery. Dr. Melissa Polson, Associate Professor, Epidemiology. Dr. Evan Norfolk, Professor, Nephrology. Dr. Mathanji Rajaram Geiks, Associate Professor, Anatomy. Dr. Jagmeet Singh, Associate Professor, Nephrology. Dr. Jian Hong Lee, Associate Professor, Pathology. Dr. Thomas Yurasevich, Associate Professor, Optometry. Dr. Lisa Bailey Davis, Professor, Nutrition. Dr. Ann Justice, Associate Professor, Genetics. Dr. Aaron Riggs, Associate Professor, Genetics and Genomics. Dr. Jing Hao, Associate Professor, Population and Public Health. Dr. Mark Seeley, Professor, Orthopedic Surgery. And Dr. Catherine Lincoln, Associate Professor, Family Medicine. Please join me again in congratulating all of our advancing faculty. It is now my pleasure to welcome and honor our friend Gene Shields, who has endowed the Gene M. Shields Scholarship.
Excuse me while I wet my whistle. The German mystic, Meister Eckhart, who lived a long time ago, 1260 to 1328, is credited with saying, if the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. My giving is my thank you. I give because I am so grateful for the health care I have received right here in my hometown from the moment of my birth, right around the corner at Mercy Hospital, March 27, 1949. I was born with an external bladder and external ureters, and a young Dr. Francis Boland excised my bladder and implanted my ureters into my colon. I functioned that way until I was 21 in 1971, but growing up, hydronephrosis gave me a lot of pain, and Demerol was a good friend. In 1971, I was going into kidney failure, so Dr. Bannon summoned a team. Dr. John Murphy, Big John they called him, Jimmy Dempsey, James Mackerel, who left us way too soon. And I woke up around the corner in room 224 with a urostomy. They did a good job because I have it for 53 years and I've never had a problem with it. As life went on, hydronephrosis raised its head again, and my urologist at the time, Dr. Jeff Weiss, marvelous doctor, but he left me. He went back to Brooklyn, his home. But he said I should have catheters into my stoma. So I did, and I've had them for over 25 years. And I flush them at least twice a day, and now I go every 3 weeks around the corner to have them changed in interventional radiology. I give because I'm very grateful. I'm also a breast cancer survivor, thanks to Jay Bannon and team. And at the time, he was around the corner, but you know where he is now. And of course, I see his PA, and I just saw her recently, but I miss seeing him. And Dr. Lisa Thomas, who just lives up the hill, our neighbor in Dunmore, she keeps tabs on me. I also had 2 heart attacks. And I remember being in the ER. They did the echo, they did the blood work, and a gentleman walked in, and I looked up and I said, "You have beautiful eyes." And he looked down and said, "And you had a heart attack." But around the corner, Dr. Fitzpatrick, I'm still here, and I recently had my stress test, and I have to look at this to make sure I get it right. I aced my stress test, and when they said, "Can we go faster and steeper?" I said, "Bring it on. I have my new Brooks athletic shoes on." I give because I'm so very grateful. I am very grateful to my GP, Linda France, who keeps on top of my health, no small task. I'm always surprising her. But enough about my health. There's more, but that's enough. I'm in great shape for the shape I'm in. I give because I am so proud that we have a medical school, an A+ medical school, right here in my hometown. I drive up Pine Street just to look at it. The architecture is beautiful, and I love when the fountains are on, and I love seeing the flags and evidence of the diversity that's here. I know Dr. Jay Bannon had a hand in that. He was one of the dreamers, and so did Robert Wright, my mother's oncologist of many years ago. Wonderful, wonderful men, and this is their dream. They must be so proud. Your mission statement includes the phrases community-based and patient-centered. I love that. You're out in the community, in our doctor's offices. I love when I go and I have an appointment and the doctor will say, "Do you mind if a student comes in?" And I welcome them. I say, "No, I welcome that." I have to have a disclosure, though. If it's with Dr. Kaluki, I might ask what, you know what I'm going to say. I might ask what school district they graduated from. But you get a feel for us. You see our fears, our concerns, our health problems, our ages, and that's so important. And patient-centered. To me, that sounds like the old-fashioned bedside manner. I need eye contact. If you come into the room and you pass me, just a little tap on the shoulder. Sit down and face me, as if I'm the only patient you'll see that day. It means so much to me. I love when I'm at Dr. Francis or Dr. Thomas's and they ask about my little Oreo. He's my miniature poodle. Or Dr. Jay Bannon would say, "Do you have any concerts coming up? Are you still the organist at the cathedral?" And Dr. Fitzpatrick would say, "Are you still doing that Tai Chi?" I'm not just a kidney or heart. I give because I'm so very grateful. The values of the medical school list kindness at the top, and I quote, "We treat everyone as we would hope to be treated ourselves." Sounds like the golden rule to me, a great rule. I give because I know the expense of a college education, and I've learned about the incredible expense of a medical education. My career was as a music teacher. I loved it. I taught for over 42 years, and I know there's a former student of mine at your school now. So I am concerned about your education. And to the students, I say, I hope future students will benefit from the scholarship that I established. When I had a tour of the medical school several years ago, I met with Dean Stephen Scheinman, who commented about the donation I made of my body, saying I was a true teacher, wanting to continue teaching even after I passed on. I even saw the hallway that led to the room where I'll be. Gross Anatomy 1060. Maybe when I'm there, you can change it to Jean's classroom. But I hope that those future students learn something from me. I give because I care about the future of healthcare in my hometown, right here in Scranton, PA. And to the students, I say, I hope many of you will consider giving back to this community. Be our doctors, be our oncologists, our urologists, our surgeons, our primary doctors, our interventional radiologists that I have to see every 3 weeks. Be a part of our community. Put down your roots here. Enjoy life in NEPA in all 4 seasons. We have so much to do here. Thursday night, I was at the Everhart Museum right up Mulberry Street in Ayog Park, and it was the kickoff for the Fringe Festival. It's going on now. The whole facade of the museum was a 3D art projection. It was amazing, right here in my little Scranton, PA. And maybe you'll even want to volunteer here. I know a doctor who every summer volunteers at St. Joseph's Festival, and I know another doctor who is part of a chorus that I was the accompanist for many years. Speaking of, a few years ago, I was here for a luncheon, I think, and you had 2 choruses perform, a women and a men's. They were outstanding, and I hope that's continuing, is it? Wonderful, wonderful. Invite me back for another concert. It was just wonderful. But be our doctors. We need you in Scranton here, and stay here for a long time. I was so lucky to have Dr. Boland from the day I was born until he died. Because after the urostomy, he also did a few other things with me. So think about that. Think about giving back to your community. I close with a quote from The Summer Day by a favorite poet of mine, Mary Oliver, who asks, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jean. That was just so lovely. I feel a little bit sorry for Courtney Chambers, who's now coming to the podium. Courtney is one of our current medical students, and he is a member of the class of 2026, and I'll invite him to share his story.
Thank you. Esteemed guests, faculty, staff, students, a pleasant afternoon to you all. It is truly surreal standing here and speaking with you today as a third-year medical student. It seems like just the other day I was back home during the pandemic wondering, when am I going to take the MCAT? Am I even going to get into medical school? But most importantly, which medical schools am I going to apply to? Growing up, my family always reinforced that no matter where life takes me, I should always strive to help others. And I took that lesson to heart. As a high schooler in Jamaica, I began volunteering to help underserved and underprivileged communities. The fulfillment I gained from these small, engagements, even the simple tasks such as manual labor, ignited a passion within me, a passion to continue serving others. And this early experience became a part of what inspired me to pursue medicine. I realized I wanted to be of service, not only with my hands, but with medical knowledge that could help others and change lives. When I moved to the US and began my undergraduate degree, I continued to do community service. I dedicated over 1,500 hours to the American Red Cross alone. Needless to say, I knew that the medical school I would choose needed to share my passion and vision for giving back to the community. When I came across Geisinger Commonwealth School of Medicine, GCOSOM as we call it, it wasn't just the statistics or the impressive reputation of the school that stood out. It was how deeply GCOSOM's mission aligned with my own values, particularly the school's commitment to community engagement. This connection spoke to me on a personal level, and I knew this was where I wanted to begin my journey toward becoming a physician. Before I started medical school, I had never deeply considered how important curriculum structure would be in shaping my experience as a student. And to be honest, I wasn't quite sure how the flipped classroom model would work for me either. But when I arrived and I experienced it, I loved it. I realized how much it suited my learning style as I was genuinely impressed by how thoughtfully structured the materials were, making learning process smooth and efficient. The flexibility to study at my own pace, combined with the weekly workshops that reinforced and deepened my understanding, really propelled my learning. And I must commend the remarkable and supportive faculty we have here at GCUSOM. They work tirelessly to produce well-organized and detailed podcasts, handouts, and make other learning resources accessible. And even more importantly, the faculty members are always there to answer questions, explain challenging concepts, and offer encouragement. Their welcoming demeanor makes them easily approachable, and their openness to feedback and commitment to improving our learning experience makes a huge difference. Beyond the academic aspect, GCOSOM has fostered my understanding of the psychosocial dimensions of medicine. Through the physician and patient-centered care experience, or curriculum, PPCC as we call it, it's run by an amazing group of faculty. I partner with the Fallbrook Healthy Aging Campus, for example, as part of my Community Emergent project. Here, I engaged with elderly members of the community. And for me, this experience highlighted how important social engagement is to the mental and emotional well-being of older adults, reinforcing the idea that medicine extends far beyond treating illness. It's about the whole person. I was also paired with a family dealing with a chronic illness as part of my family and community-centered experience, who generously shared their experiences with me over the course of a year. These interactions opened my eyes to the challenges patients face in navigating healthcare, and they inspired me to think critically about how I can contribute to improving patient-centered care in the future. The advice and stories from that family have stayed with me, and I know they'll guide my practice as a future physician. Early clinical exposure has also been an invaluable part of my experience here at GCUSOM. The longitudinal clinical experience allowed me to work alongside a physician mentor and interact with real patients early on. This hands-on training, combined with constructive feedback during our clinical skill sessions and formative OSCEs, with standardized patients gave me the confidence and preparation I needed as I transitioned into the clinical setting. Now, as a third-year medical student at the AtlantiCare campus, it's incredibly gratifying to hear physicians praise the clinical skills of GCUSOM students. For example, 2 weeks ago, I was with my family medicine physician who I'm rotating with. I overheard him saying to the clinical staff, "I love teaching and I'm incredibly impressed by the students from Geisinger." I must say, it fills me with pride to know that I'm part of an institution that equips its students so well and that has a great reputation that continues to be upheld. I also found the academic sessions, such as those in population health, to be incredibly useful in clinical and research settings. And speaking about research, research has also been an integral part of my journey here. Thanks to GCUSOM's accessible research opportunities, I've been involved in the summer research immersion program, as well as the medical research honors program. And these experiences have helped me grow as a student who aims to practice evidence-based medicine. As I indicated before, I'm quite passionate about community service. Fortunately, I was able to serve as the community service chair from 2022 to 2023. In this position, I was not only able to serve as a volunteer in community service activities, but I also directed and organized events to strengthen our connection with the community, and I guided students to learn from these experiences. For instance, we were able to participate in CHOMP, the Community Health Outreach and Meals Program, card-making events, to make holiday cards for isolated elders to let them know that there are others out there thinking about them. Some of the Meals on Wheels clients were also paired with students who would visit them monthly, check upon them, and provide referrals to resources as needed. There's also the Webster Towers, where students can volunteer to conduct regular vital sign checks for elderly residents, the Leahy Clinic, the Snow Angels, Fresh Food Pharmacies, Habitat for Humanity, and of course, the local youth homeless organization that ensure that the youth in the area have a safe place to go after school. And there's so many more that if I list them, I'll probably run out of time. As much as GCUSOM has shaped my professional development, it's also helped me to grow personally. I would have never thought that I'd perform 3 dance routines for the Diwali celebrations last November, and I plan to do so again this November. I would have never thought that I'd ride a float during the St. Patrick's Day parade, watch ice hockey from a suite, present in cultural bazaars, or even challenge my fear of public speaking and giving a speech today. And 2 years ago, I would have never thought that I'd soon perform it not once, but twice in the Pride Club drag show to raise almost $2,000 for the local youth homeless organization. Similarly, a lot of students were able to step outside their comfort zones. However, I don't think this would have been possible or as easy as it was if it wasn't for the unwavering support from the faculty and staff. The support I've received here as a medical student has truly surpassed all my expectations. From the welcoming presence of the admissions team on that interview day filled with trepidation and on Accepted Students Day, to the remarkable individuals in administrative roles, to Dr. Byerly getting to know us and our stories. Let me tell you, I was quite shocked when Dean Byerly knew my name, 1 out of 400 plus students here, by the second day of orientation. To the amazing CLD and career advising staff members who have guided us along our academic journey and supported us in whatever way we needed on an individual level. To the student affairs staff, planning events for us and helping us with club activities. To the faculty of clinical education, the integrated science courses and research. To financial aid and bursar office. To student health and wellness services. To the library, cafeteria, and ancillary staff members. You have all made me feel like I belong here. And you've gone above and beyond to help each of us grow both as students and as individuals. And for that, I am deeply grateful. Thanks to you all. I'm almost done. I'm almost done, I promise. As I continue my journey through medical school, I encourage my fellow students, whether you're just starting or well on your way, to embrace all the opportunities GCUSOM has to offer. push yourself academically, but also take the time to explore who you are outside the classroom. Use your time here to grow into the best physician and person you can be. I'm still learning and growing every day, and I couldn't ask for a better place to do that than here at GCUSOM, the impeccable institution I get to call my home for 4 years as part of the incredible class of 2026. It's been such a pleasure and honor speaking here today. I thank you for coming to celebrate Geyser and Commonwealth Day with us, and I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you so much, Courtney. Now it's a pleasure to introduce one of our alums, Dr. Laura Barna. She'll tell you her story, but she's an alum from the class of 2019. Thank you, Dr. Barna.
Hi, good afternoon, all. My name is Dr. Laura Barna, and I am a proud alumnus of the class of 2019. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces today, so please find me afterward if I haven't seen you already. I am an ophthalmologist and a glaucoma specialist, and tomorrow is my first official day as an attending, so good luck. I managed to find my white coat this morning. That was probably the most difficult part of this whole week. And I guess I'm living proof that eventually you will always be a lifelong learner, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it does come to an end. So it's all worth it. 9 years ago, I would not have thought it was that easy or at all worth it. And I didn't think those 3 sentences would be that easy to say, nor that I would be an attending one day. Nor could I have imagined the journey that it took to be able to identify as the surgeon that I am today. However, looking back on it, I do owe a large part of who I am today to the teachings I received in this very building and the foundations that were built here. 9 years ago, I had just gotten my crisp white coat, and I recited our personalized class oath, and this white coat is no longer crisp, nor terribly white. We made sure as a class that our personalized oath contained the well-known medical adage, to cure rarely, to treat often, and to comfort always. And during my time here, I was always met with enthusiastic teachers and counselors who truly wanted us to succeed and exemplify those values. And most importantly, during my time here, I met my partner, Dr. Bill Lotney, who is successful in his own right and actually teaches here on Tuesdays in the Sim Center. So please be kind to him. In between long, dark hours in the anatomy lab or sifting through Dr. Boyd's biochemistry lectures, I'm dating myself there, there was always time to teach us how to interact with patients, whether it was our outstanding standardized patients in the Sim Center or community continuity patients. You see, we were not taught not only how to practice medicine, but how to foster emotional intelligence and provide truly high-quality care, not only to our community members, but to every patient we encountered. This came in handy because if you remember my graduation year, it was 2019. And if you were keen enough to put the pieces together, you would realize that the COVID-19 pandemic hit right in the middle of my intern year, which just happened to be in the heart of New York City. Luckily, both my partner and I, we pseudo-couples matched, and we were at the same hospital in New York City, although we rarely were like 2 ships in the night. Whether we were staffing one ICU on either side of the hospital, or one of us was on nights and one of us was on day float. We went from having a Super Bowl watch party during night float to 3 straight months in the ICU. Unfortunately, we became very good at chest compressions, and we became very good at managing critically ill patients. However, despite that harrowing time, I will never forget what one attending said in the hospital. As bad as the pandemic is, the aftermath may be worse. All the people who have not received care during this time will return. Medical school certainly did not prepare us or anyone for this scenario, but that old adage kept ringing in the back of our minds, to cure rarely, to treat often, and to comfort always. When my intern year ended, I went on to my formal ophthalmology training at New York Eye and Ear Infirmary, still in downtown Manhattan. And that first summer of the pandemic was actually pretty nice. It was pretty quiet. The clinic was pretty much empty. And because people were still afraid to seek care. This was June, July of 2020. However, toward the end of my second year of residency, the aftermath started. Patients came in with advanced disease. We saw pathology multiple times per week that most providers did not see in their entire career. Unfortunately, it became commonplace to inform patients that they had irreversible vision loss and unfortunately were blind. We could not cure them, and we treated them as best we could, but we always provided them with a space of comfort, a place where they and their disease were understood. Despite the seemingly bleak picture, I actually found my passion for glaucoma and providing care to patients with low vision, which is what my goal is now. After residency, I pursued fellowship in glaucoma at Mass Eye and Ear, where my co-fellows and I managed some of the most advanced cases, still seeing some of the aftershocks from the pandemic, especially as many of the physicians in New England had retired or moved from the area to be closer to family elsewhere. As I'm about to start my career in earnest, I realized how fortunate I was to have trained at some of the best institutions, here included. I know full well that the excellent training and opportunities we received while studying here gave us a path forward. I have way too many people to thank, and I've seen some of you today, but I do think that there's way too many to mention, but I personally owe a great deal to the Learning Center and our excellent advisors who truly helped me to get into a competitive specialty. Jackie, Julia, Tanya, just to name a very, very, very mere fraction of the people who make this place wonderful. Those fundamental beliefs and values instilled into our class that we learned from our community here, and to keep Jean happy, I am from Mountaintop. I never left the area until residency, and that was a shock. So, but it was always our intention of my partner and I to return to northeastern Pennsylvania. He's from Taylor, so all of our family and friends are here. So it's really been a privilege and an honor to be able to come back to and help the community where we so long have called home. To provide high quality care and to give back in a small way to the people and places who helped to shape us. So for everyone who's here today, I'm also a scholarship recipient, a local scholarship, so very generous, so thank you. It really means a great deal. It just helps to exemplify why we do what we do here, and to know that the community really truly appreciates us. And it doesn't matter where that community may be. Yes, you're practicing in Scranton and you're helping a lot of the people here, but when you go to somewhere as big as New York City, that becomes your community, and the skills that you learn here really make a big difference for those patients, and they really truly care and appreciate about that, especially during as dark of a time as COVID was. So to all of you, to the students, I say good luck. You're gonna do great. It's gonna be worth it. And to everyone else, thank you very much.
So what I hope you have just heard is a real celebration of our founding stories and some of the outcomes of community impact, impact on current students, and impact on alums. We're going to wrap up our afternoon together by overviewing what we've accomplished in the last year in education. Bill Jeffries, our provost, will lead us through that. And research with Krista Martin, our Vice Dean for Research and Chief Scientific Officer, leading through that. And then I'll conclude with a vision for the next year and what we hope to accomplish as we drive to thrive together. Bill.
Sit easy. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Byerly. And it's fantastic to see this room full. It's been a while since I've seen it this packed, since before COVID, and it's wonderful. 2024 was a remarkable year for our degree granting programs, and there's been a lot of behind-the-scenes activity to ensure that we have proper accreditation and enhanced student services, new and upgraded facilities, and of course our usual outstanding instruction. Our MD program, oops, I should probably put the slide up here. Our MD program, well here, let me just orient you to the slide. These are all the degree programs that the college, the new College of Health Sciences now offers. And this is hopefully a delight to those folks who are involved in the founding of this school, who are present. because we're very proud that we continue to grow. Importantly, with respect to the MD program, in 2019, our faculty, staff, and students came together to begin the creation of a new curriculum that epitomized the Geisinger philosophy of healthcare, one that would help foster a new generation of physicians who focused on health and prevention in addition to the robust treatment of disease. This curriculum, which is grounded in the neuroscience of learning and patient-centered care, was aptly dubbed the Total Health Curriculum. I'm proud to say that the class of 2025 will be our first graduates that experience the entire Total Health Curriculum. Now, I will say that we have a lot of students in the first and second years here, so I want to make sure that everybody understands that this curriculum is good for you, and that if you have any concerns about it, you should talk to Courtney, because he has figured it out, and so we want to make sure that everybody knows that it's a good thing. And we continue to evolve the curriculum as we learn from our experiences, since iterative improvement based on the feedback from our learners and their measurable outcomes actually are baked into the administration and iterative improvement of our curriculum. So know that the curriculum changes from year to year based on all the input we get from our learners. Some notable highlights from our MD program are shown on this slide here, including we're telling everybody many times that we have 1,000 physician graduates in our short history, and we've added several signature programs to enhance our student experience and further benefit the community. Importantly, the Abigail Geisinger Scholars Program. We have a new dual program in oral and maxillofacial surgery, and we have a 3+3 program, which shortens the time in medical school to provide a practicing physician back to the community within 6 years, and our research honors track. So lots of things going on in the medical degree program. Nursing is a big story for us in 2024. Back in 2023, we launched a Nursing Associate's Degree program to address the growing need for nursing professionals in our region. Based in Lewistown, the new Associate's Degree program grew out of the prior diploma program that was flourishing at Lewistown Hospital. Transfers from that program formed our first Associate's Degree graduates in April of 2024. So just this year, our first class has been graduated from that new evolved school. In May, we were also excited to open our nursing school building, which is the latest investment we've made in our growing health science campus that we have in the western region of Geisinger. This also includes our growing medical school campus there and our family medicine residency. The nursing school building is in the heart of downtown Lewistown, and it features state-of-the-art classroom technology and a world-class simulation center. And if any of you get the opportunity to go visit that building, which is now revitalizing all of downtown Lewistown, I would urge you to get out there and see it. The graduate school is the oldest school in our college, and our MBS program continues to serve students by providing them with a gateway to health professions training. After a hiatus due to COVID, we've returned to in-person learning in our building here, along with maintaining the online program. We created a proper home for the graduate school on the 4th floor east, on this side of the building, with new offices and upgraded classroom technology as part of the newest things that we're doing with that program. Except for the new curriculum, so that's the most exciting thing. Our new curriculum is launched this fall in 2024, and it's specifically designed by our faculty to better align with the active learning pedagogy that has made our faculty nationally recognized leaders in education. The curriculum will help students better prepare for their careers to come. Our faculty have also been working diligently to bring our new program in genetic counseling to fruition. This program will answer a regional and national demand for genetic counselors. Geisinger is a leader in genetic medicine, so this is a natural mission fit for us. Students entering this program will be mentored by some of the most accomplished figures in genetics and genomics, and will work in translating the wealth of genetic information that we have on our patients here at Geisinger into excellent preventive care. Let's talk a little bit about our outcomes. Since there's a good number of students here today, I want to make sure that we reassure you that we know what we're doing in the operation of the medical school. This slide shows the results of a national survey that's administered by the AAMC to all medical schools, or all residency programs, in which residency programs are asked to rate the skill of their new residents. There's a long list of questions on the survey, but the Gestalt question is whether the resident met the performance expectations of the program director. In other words, how well was the student prepared for residency? As you can see, nearly all of our graduates meet these expectations, and we're ahead of the national mean. So all of you students are very well prepared, and we're very proud of these results. So what's new and on the horizon? And here's a list of some of our newest efforts, and I won't read the list, but this represents our commitment to quality and improvement in educational leadership. This attention to quality improvement is especially notable in our newest space renovations. Feedback from students indicated a need for a dedicated home for student affairs and additional study and gathering spaces on our clinical campuses. As a result, we're engaging in significant renovation to the second floor west of this building to create a unified student affairs office, which should be open late this year or early in 2025. We've also renovated some space at GCMC here in Scranton for our students on the North Campus, and we've acquired a new large education space at Geisinger, Wyoming Valley, which will be renovated hopefully this fall. I see Dr. Holtz back there, so hopefully this fall we'll get that done. And we've obtained new student gathering space and study space at Geisinger Medical Center in Danville, which should be renovated this fall as well. So additional space renovations are planned for our Guthrie campus. Dr. Cager's here somewhere, and he's already done some work on that, and we're moving forward with that as well. So that just illustrates the call and response of feedback that we have for our own iterative improvements here. Our faculty have also been busy working on our strategic plan, and Dr. Byerly is going to go into that in a little bit. But this builds on the strengths of our college. New centers are planned, which will leverage our strengths, and of course, we are very pleased with the progress we've made at the Leahy Clinic, which is a cooperative venture with the University of Scranton, designed to be staffed by students and faculty to provide free health care for the uninsured. And one of our faculty members, Dr. Russell, is the medical director of the Leahy Clinic. So what's on the horizon? On this list, you can also see some of the things we expect to experience over the next year or so. We're entering reaccreditation cycles for our college and the MD program. And this is important because it means that we will have time for self-studies, and in which we reflect on how well we meet our mission. This process will involve faculty, administration, staff, and students, and so stay tuned for how all of you can participate in the improvement of our college. We're working on new degrees for our graduate school, expanding our MD program to better address the regional and national shortages of doctors, starting a joint oral maxillofacial surgery MD residency program for 2 students annually. And we'll also host a regional AAMC meeting in 2026, further establishing our school's burgeoning leadership in medical education. And I want to point out that we have a tremendous array of national leaders in our school. So, and this, I think, illustrates another bit of growth for this school over the past decade. We went from learners in leadership in medical education to now leaders in medical education. And I was just sitting here and I wrote down a little piece of paper here with some of the names of folks who now have national leadership positions. And for those of you who I don't mention, I'm sorry, I was just thinking off the top of my head here, but Dr. Michelle Thompson, Dr. Chrissy Spatz, Dr. Tanya Adenizio, Dr. Michelle Schmudy, Dr. John Zarek, Dr. Jen Kessler, and Dr. Byerly, of course, all have coming or recent national leadership positions in medical education. And so I think, you know, we are sitting in a hotbed right now of leadership for medical education nationally. We will be exploring enhancements to our pedagogy that might be offered by AI. This is a new promising area, or at least scary area for some. And we're going to expand our reach into global health and address our need to better define the role of professionalism and professional growth and mentorship in our learning environments. So in conclusion, it's been a very exciting year. Many of our staff and faculty have been working on the strategic plan, which is designed to leverage Geisinger's unique clinical, scientific, and community attributes to create educational programs that'll produce innovative leaders who will improve the health of our communities. And this provides a wealth of motivation for the faculty and staff. And personally, I just love working here. There's so much talent in our college community. Our faculty and staff represent the best of health sciences education. It's really my privilege to work with them every day. This was really a banner year for education scholarship at Geisinger. Dozens and dozens of publications have been produced or published that showcase the expertise of our faculty and move the needle on practical aspects of teaching for the rest of the education world. You also saw that we had many of those, I already mentioned the many leaders in national education, and our students and community are well served by our college and education community at large. And I wanted to acknowledge all of that. The thing that gets me out of bed in the morning, besides my alarm clock and my wife, get out of bed, please turn the alarm off. I don't know, have any of you experienced or explored how many times you can hit the snooze button and like before the clock even says, you know, all right, enough of it. I wanted to mention our students because they represent the best of what society has to offer. They're so inspiring. A student once asked me what I was going to fix the ills of the national healthcare system, because we go over that a little bit in our curriculum. And so what are you going to do to fix the healthcare system? And my response was, you know, I'm going to put you in it. And I think, so thank you to all the students for all you're doing, but more importantly, what you're going to be doing for all of us. Thank you.
It's funny how the two scientists are the ones who use the slides. So good afternoon, everybody. You know, every year when we gather for Commonwealth Day, I'm always amazed when I look back at all the wonderful research that we've done in such a short amount of time that has flown by so quickly. And there's lots of things to choose from. So I've just selected a few highlights, which I hope you'll enjoy. And this past year has really been a year of remarkable milestones for research at Geisinger. Our commitment to advancing healthcare through innovative research and collaboration has led to significant progress across our system, including efforts that are part of our strategic plan, Drive to Thrive. And today I'm excited to update you on many firsts that are contributing to our successes in research. So I'll start by highlighting one of our flagship research programs, the MyCode Community Health Initiative, which has continued to make groundbreaking strides that are internationally recognized. This year, we reached a significant first of enrolling more than 350,000 patient participants into MyCode. In addition, we now have DNA sequence data on over 230,000 of our patients. That is more than 20% of our entire patient population. It's truly a first for a healthcare system genomics initiative. And this data, combined with our long electronic health history, has allowed us to become a leader in precision health research. And as you just heard from Bill, we're continuing to grow that by training the next generation of genetic counselors. So we're always looking at ways to tailor healthcare to the individual needs of each patient. Towards that goal, we were the first healthcare system to report information back from a study like this. So we've now reported medically actionable DNA results to our MyCode participants, and we just surpassed 5,000 participants receiving these types of results. And these are people like Dina, Anthony, and Kim, shown on this slide, who have diseases which we can do something to either prevent them, detect them earlier, or treat them better. And in addition to these three individuals, you can imagine, as you've heard today, we're a community. People live here, people grow up here, they have families here. So for every patient we identify, there's usually additional family members who also have that same genetic risk that we can provide that information back to. So what impact can this type of information have? So we found that 1 in 30 of our MyCode participants carries a genetic risk for one of the actionable diseases seen on this slide and beyond, such as hereditary breast and ovarian cancer, Lynch syndrome, another familial cancer syndrome, familial hypercholesterolemia, or having very high cholesterol, which now can be treated with statins. And all of these conditions have some action that can be implemented to change patient care. So what else have we learned from this study? Well, we know that close to 90% of the patients that we've given these types of results to were not aware of their genetic risk prior to receiving this information. And that's because the way that we currently provide clinical care for genetic conditions is to rely on a personal or a family history to do genetic testing. And what MyCode has shown us through this population screening program is that most people don't have those types of personal or family histories. And so this type of broader population-based approach is needed to help get upstream of disease and keep our communities healthy. And many programs across the nation are now following our lead and doing this same type of research, which is now being transitioned into clinical care. So our MyCode program truly exemplifies the type of collaborative work and training that we describe as a learning health system, where information collected as part of routine healthcare can be augmented with additional data collected from research studies to learn how we can improve patient care and outcomes. And a team at Geisinger led by Adam Buchanan, who's our chair of our Department of Genomic Health, was recently awarded a 5-year, $3.6 million NIH grant to be part of a newly formed collaborative called the Genomic Enabled Learning Health System Network. So we're all really excited and celebrating that grant with Adam. But we also leverage our MyCode program and other resources at Geisinger to explore many health-related areas like kidney disease, obesity, pharmacy, neuroscience, cardiology, population and environmental health, health equity, data science, AI, and many others. Our strategy for research at Geisinger is to leverage the 3 pillars you see on this slide, the college, the health plan, and our clinical institutes, to continue to build a thriving environment for research, one that engages our researchers, our clinical teams, learners, and others. Speaking of our learners, I also have a few exciting firsts to share as part of our medical student research initiatives, which are led by Dr. Sonia Lobo. So in 2024, COVID screwed up my years and keeping track of time. For the first time, we had 100% participation in our summer research immersion program, and we were all really excited to see so many learners engaged in research over the summer months. That also culminated in a research symposium day that was part of orientation week for the first time, and I met many of you during that time. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself that day, seeing the first years get to meet their second year new colleagues, hearing about their research and talking about what got them excited, not only about coming to medical school, but learning about what type of research they could do in their 4 years here. This year at graduation, we also celebrated the first graduating class of 11 medical students who completed our 4-year medical research honors program. We had a congratulatory dinner prior to graduation where each student received a medical research honor medal, which was then worn at graduation, where they were recognized with their honors of distinction in research. So it's truly exciting to see that for the first time and looking forward for that to happen in the years to come. We're also focused on integrating more research into our nursing programs, and Janet Tomkavage and others have been great partners in working with our nursing school, starting a research fellowship for nurses who work at Geisinger. And we continue to look for more opportunities to grow research as part of residency and fellowship training as well. And finally, we've grown our leadership team at Geisinger in research to better support research across our system, including Dr. Scott Lemaire, who is our Associate Chief Scientific Officer and Associate Dean for Research, Dr. Michelle Meyer, who is Chair of our redesigned Department of Bioethics and Decision Sciences and Chief Bioethics Officer for our system, and Dr. Vanessa Troiani, who is the first Director of our Medical Marijuana Academic Clinical Research Center that's housed here in the Medical Sciences Building in Scranton, that is part of the Pennsylvania Department of Health's Medical Marijuana Research Program. So in conclusion, 2024 has been a year of many exciting research achievements at Geisinger. Our research initiatives are advancing medical knowledge and directly improving patient care and community health. We are committed to continuing this important work and making a positive impact on our system and the lives of those we serve. And toward that goal, we're planning a first research symposium day in 2025. So we're hoping to share research being done across Geisinger, but also want people to come and learn about the research being done at Geisinger. And the day will end in our annual celebration of the Henry Hood Award to recognize an outstanding clinical researcher at Geisinger. So everybody mark your calendars. We hope to see you in Danville at the Hood Center, and thank you for your attention.
I would like to thank each of our speakers today. You have each beautifully illustrated how much we have to celebrate about the work that's happening at Geisinger College of Health Sciences. I want to briefly remind you of where we're headed with our strategic priorities addressing education, research, and our people in our Drive to Thrive plan. You'll recall that Thrive means transforming health through research, inspiration, value, and education. And you'll note that each of you should pick up a steering wheel cookie to remind you of those driving aspirations before you leave today. If you can't tell what that is, it's a steering wheel, and you're going. There you go. Those are in the lobby and will be available for each of you. So what we're doing in education, we're trying to provide a uniquely Geisinger education that prepares the leaders of tomorrow, that's you all, our students, across the health professions continuum, in multiple disciplines, multiple professions, and working together. We want to identify and establish or partner with other local institutions to produce programs needed to develop the Geisinger and regional workforce. We want to work with our partners focused on community. And of course, we want to attract and retain the very best to work at Geisinger and in our region. In research, we will align our scientific priorities with our system's strengths, our community needs, and our research assets. We will leverage the learning health system, as Krista referenced, to model and optimize impactful research and discovery. And we will turn hypotheses into health by implementing and disseminating those research results. For our people, we will increase system-wide awareness of, support for, and engagement with the academic mission areas. We will clarify, strengthen, and support the faculty role, like we started today, celebrating promotions and enhance the recognition of faculty contributions. And we will ensure that all of us in the Geisinger College of Health Science, faculty, staff, learners, and supporters feel valued, engaged, and are resilient. Dr. Jeffries and Dr. Martin illustrated some of what's been accomplished to the goals of our strategic plan over the last year, and much, much more is happening. I want to highlight just 3 of the particular efforts that are getting lots of attention from us as we move forward from this year, 2024, into 2025 efforts across the college collectively. First, using academic expertise in both education and research and partnering with leaders in the clinical enterprise, we are building a health system science collaborative. This collaborative will ensure that we produce a modern health professional workforce prepared to serve in the real and certainly changing world. We will have our learners and our faculty working together to address some of the major challenges affecting our healthcare system and the healthcare systems across the country. Each of our learners, staff, and faculty will understand the value equation and will add value through the academic work that we do. One of the places we will add tremendous value is in building a primary care center of excellence. Here again, clinical and academic leaders are working together to create a workforce that tends to total health through a precision patient experience. We will deploy more research in the primary care setting and ensure that we effectively teach and learn there while maintaining a focus on delivering healthcare that is accessible and equitable. Building a primary care center of excellence will keep that much-needed workforce engaged. Finally, the engagement of our workforce and the quality of clinical care and teaching that we deliver depends on the professionalism of the clinical and learning environment. We have a team working across the college and system to prioritize that, to be sure that Geisinger College of Health Sciences is always a place that we are each proud to work and learn and be, where each of us can thrive as we together serve the people and populations of our region. Thank you for all that each of you do to advance that worthy mission. Now, to conclude our celebration today, here comes my favorite part. You know what it is. But the first-year students might not. But it is time for us to sing our alma mater. Yeah. Today, we will be led by the... Do not leave. Everyone is invited to stand. The words of the alma mater are found on your card. These beautiful singers will lead us, but we will all sing along, and then we'll gather for a reception in the lobby. Thank you. All stand.